opportunity in growth in 2025?
I think India is probably the one country in the world that has the largest hungry young population who have to solve problems not only for India but for the world. And I think that therein lies the opportunity, I think, for the startup ecosystem. We have so many people who are joining the workforce. Every startup that starts, every entrepreneur who takes a plunge will create employment for others. It will be aligned around the passion, around the ability to make a difference, the ability to create wealth. So there are so many reasons why the startup ecosystem has already got a lot of traction but needs to become much bigger, as we go forward. This is the Startup Mahakumbh. We just saw the Mahakumbh of, Indian spirituality. This is the Indian youth coming together to create, good solutions for the world and put India on the global map as we move forward.
Sir, coming to the e-game section, new technologies are coming, be it IoT, AI, virtual gaming. How do you foresee the future of gaming industry in next decade?
So, Gen AI is definitely disrupting every industry, and video gaming is no different. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, AI has been a part of video games, ever since the video game industry started. When you were playing a game, if I had to challenge you, I had to have an AI bot that made you play that little more, So AI is intuitive when it comes to video gaming. So that is enhancing player experience. It is the ability to make more complex games. But what it is also doing, it is, helping environments get created. It's helping so many aspects of game development, quality testing, all actually becoming very AI-led. So for us, the way we look at AI, it's agentic AI, and now the agentic AI actually becoming completely functional and actually completing tasks completely on its own. So rather than just enabling people to do more, to actually replace people. Now, while that is happening, the role of people in this industry is going to change. And I think we have to now be able to create those new skills that will enable them to become, bigger and stronger. So this is one technology, immersive technology, experiential, virtual reality, augmented reality. All of these are very powerful, technologies that are shaping this industry. Blockchain, fractional ownership. How do you see that? So many aspects, working together.
But with these technology, there is also challenges of handling technology and the privacy concern also. How do you see that? Is India ready for it or not?
So, the world is all, approaching this at the same time. So the world has to solve for ethics in AI. How do we look at privacy? India has created its own act. I think the rest of the world is looking at it. I think that will happen and it will evolve. But the fact that the technology is making a difference, to me, Gen AI is as big as the internet, right? It is going to create new opportunities, massive wealth creation, irrespective of whether you and I like it or not. So as a country, we have to find a way to be able to put our checks and balances to see how to enhance this value.
Apart from the ethical aspect, as the industry is growing, what do you foresee? How do you foresee that the regulation or modernization? How should the government should involve in the gaming industry and let the private players boost themselves? How do you see this, and what expectation do you have with the government?
No, so I think on AI in particular, I think government and private sector have to work closely together, because ultimately we will create all these large language models, we'll create small models for different companies, but ultimately the framework and the data sources that are going to be used. I mean, let's start with the basic, have to have a consensus around larger thinking on how that will be, developed together. Second, I think it's very important, therefore, for government and industry to work together. So what we encourage is that we have a chief AI officer in our company. And like that, I think every investment we do, we look at it from an AI lens. We say, okay, if AI were to become a big part of this for the next 10 years, how do we look at it? If the government can start looking at that in a very similar manner, you will be able to align industry, government will align together to see what are therefore the frameworks and regulators needed without curbing innovation. And I think that is the fine line, right? But whether it will happen, how will it get prioritized? Of course, we are trying to work ourselves, to see how that can happen through the Indian Digital Gaming Society with CII and others, where we are, very integral a part of. But I think it will take a little time for us to come together, but the innovation is happening at rapid scale.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your timing.
Thank you.